The answer to the question, the film Independence Day, shot in which New Mexico location, is the VLA, aka Very Large Array.
Commercials are fun, but what's more fun is talking to Lauren.
Hi. In studio with us today is our guest from Egg Murders Productions and a dear friend of ours, Aaron Hendricks.
Hello. Yay, me.
Applause, applause, applause.
What's up, guys? You guys look fantastic.
Thanks, you do too.
Thank you. I took a shower.
It shows.
And yeah, this gets my hair real pretty. So I've got my pretty hair on for you guys today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So what we like to do on this show is bring on our pals in the community that like to make really super neat movies.
Yeah.
And you picked Glen and Glenda for this show.
I did. I think a lot of independent filmmakers have a soft spot in their heart for Ed Wood. I think when you go to make a movie, you think like, if I can get these 12 things in order, like I can make this movie. And usually you get 10. So it's like, where do those other 2 get sacrificed? And Ed Wood, the master of sacrificing and getting it done. So absolutely, there's like a bit of silliness to him, but you know, also a bit of genuine regard. Like, good for you, pal.
Yeah, like the acting is pretty corny, but you know, he put a lot of heart into it.
A lot of heart, yeah. And a lot of Angora sweaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn really cares about those sweaters.
He likes those sweaters.
Loves those sweaters.
Yeah.
And apparently Ed Wood in real life was a cross-dresser.
Oh yeah.
And this was his little appeal for his people.
Yeah. And good for him. I can think of a better spokesman, but you know, for the time and place, sure.
They just needed someone.
You need someone.
Someone had to do it.
Yeah.
So what have you most recently been working on in your life?
I'm always working on a ton of projects. Just finished helping my pal Jason Witter out with his movie, Pizza Girl Massacre. And I am in the continual process of trying to make an animated feature, which is really involved and taking a long time. I'll be psyched if it's done by 2016.
But animated in the way like Waking Life was animated. You're shooting real film and then animating over the film.
Yes, it's shooting footage and then going through a ton of software, and the end result actually is technically what they call animated, because I'm like moving backgrounds and like moving things in post and giving it kind of like a comic booky look. I think we're going to see some of it.
Yeah, we have a clip.
Could we see some?
Absolutely. This clip it's not done, but it's going to give you a little taste of like the style, what I'm going for, everything.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Let's roll that clip.
Do you have any bags?
She was judging me. This woman who was in her 60s but wished she was 17. Her skin was made of donkey hide and spray-tanned orange. Her eyebrows were drawn on with a child's marker. Her hair was the color of peroxide and roots. She smoked little skinny cigarettes. And either her plastic surgeon had a fantastic sense of humor, or she was deathly afraid of drowning. Just the one. I would have brought more things, but I didn't know I was going to be staying. When I got here, I just fell in love with the place. She smoked her little cigarettes and looked at me like I was lying. Because I was lying. Her name was Candace Armstrong, but everybody called her Candy.
It's $150 a week. No loud music. And no overnight guests. I don't want a bunch of girls hanging around here.
That sounds perfect.
Do you need help with your bag?
Oh, I can manage.
That movie looks crazy.
It is crazy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And every time I mention it to people, they say, I can't wait until this is done. Dude, I cannot wait until this is done.
You're like, you're telling me.
That scene of us sitting at the table talking is just like hours and hours and days and weeks of my life. And, you know, I took that time and it's like, I want to see these guys having a conversation.
Well, and like the animation looks pretty fun already. It's just funny
fun.
because the old lady is played by the beautiful young actress, the lovely Rachel Shapiro,
Absolutely.
who is not in her 60s.
She's not. She's in a tricky dual role. So she's playing a younger woman as well as an older woman, which, With all of the actors in this movie, no one is going to have pores, so everyone's going to look about the same age. But she brings it out with her physical
voice acting.
Yeah, and her voice.
Where'd you get that kitty clock?
That is a series of pictures that I put together, and is technically animated. The
It does not exist.
It does not exist.
Wow.
And it has a very fancy necklace on.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the kitty's necklace.
I noticed.
The devil is in the details.
It absolutely is.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. Well, when we're going to go back and join some more of Glen or Glenda, and a little later in our program, you will love to see a little piece called Indie Insight with Dirk Norris. Let's go back.
Glen is not a homosexual. Glen is a transvestite, but he is not a homosexual. Transvestism is the term given by medical science to those persons who desperately wish to wear the clothing of the opposite sex, yet whose sex life in all instances remains quite normal. Would you be surprised to know that this rough, tough individual was wearing pink satin undies under his rough exterior clothing? He is. Then there is your friend the milkman who knows how to find comfort at home.
I can't stand it any longer. He wears all my clothes. Nothing is sacred to him, even my briefs. He has every one of my sweaters stretched out of shape. Of course, he has always replaced them. But then, they didn't last long either. But, Your Honor, ruffles on his shirts and shorts. Really?
Glen and all the hundreds of thousands of other Glens across the nation face quite a problem. Glen is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl. The problem? Glenda, Glen's other self. The girl that he himself is, his other individual personality.
You look tired tonight, Glen.
Yeah, I guess I am. It's been a long day.
Have you seen the paper yet?
No, why?
It's headlined. A man had his sex changed to a woman. Isn't that a strange case? I wonder how some people's mind works.
Well, some people aren't happy the way they are.
I suppose so, but to change one's sex, that's a pretty drastic step to take.
If it's the only way, I'm for it.
I wonder what I would do in a case like that, if I were in the mental turmoil that person went through. Or if I suddenly realized that something was mentally wrong with you. Ooh, it's hard to visualize. Here we are, two perfectly normal people, got to be married and lead a normal life together. And there's this poor fellow who never could have been happy if it wasn't for modern medical science. Our fourth term in psychology explains a lot of the facts, but I'm afraid the end of study is only the beginning of reality.
Glen's problem is a deep one, but he must tell her soon. She's begun to notice things, his nails, his eyes when he looks into a ladies' store window. So many of the little things that are hard to hide. Soon she will realize. Then there was the time Barbara was wearing the sweater Glen had always wanted to feel on his own body. It was becoming an obsession to him. He must have it.
What's the matter, Glen, darling?
I guess I was daydreaming.
Something seems to be troubling you. Why don't you tell me?
It's nothing.
Once, long ago, just after we started going steady together, we promised we'd never lie to each other. Are we going to start now, just because we're engaged to be married?
It's just that... Oh, Barbara, it's nothing that little sleep won't cure. It's been an awful long day.
It's more than that. Come on, tell me, darling. Who knows? Maybe I can help.
That's just it. You could.
Then something is troubling you.
Yes.
Do I have a right to know?
You have a right to know. But let's just say for the moment that I'm afraid to tell you. I'm afraid I'd lose you.
Nothing could be as bad as all that. I love you, and you love me. And nothing in the world can change that.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Glen, is it another woman?
Mistakes made. A story must be told. Always the same. He's not had the nerve to tell her. But he must soon come to some conclusion or forget the marriage. Should he tell Barbara of his Glenda now, before the wedding, or hit her between the eyes with it after, when it might be too late for either of them? The world is a strange place to live in. All those cars, all going someplace, all carrying humans which are carrying out their lives. The world is shocked by a person who changed his sex. Glenda is shocked also, but by another reason. Someone like her had the nerve to do something factual about their situation. There are so many problems for Glen and all the other Glens. Perhaps the fear of discovery of the underthings they wear beneath their regular outer clothing, or that which they wear during their nightly visit to Morpheus, god of sleep.
Thank you very much, and I'm sure she's going to enjoy it very much. If you want to return it, be sure that you bring the sales slip. Thank you. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah. Let me see a 90.
Oh, well, what size?
12.
The color, the material?
Black and very sheer.
Just a minute. Well, we have this here. Would you like that? Something like this? Has lace?
Yeah.
Perhaps he admires the material too long.
You can see how sheer the material really is.
Yes.
You see, it's all pure nylon and only $21.95. And, of course, it will never snag.
But Glen and Glenda and all the Glens and Glendas have an even bigger problem. The homosexual, it is true, at times does adopt the clothing or the makeup of a woman to lure members of his own sex. But this is not so for the transvestite. The transvestite is not interested in those of their own sex. The clothing is not worn to attract the attention of their own sex, but to eliminate themselves from being a member of that sex.
Hi, Joe.
Hiya, Jack.
Monday again.
You know, I think Monday is about the worst day of the week. A perfectly wonderful weekend, then back to the sweatshops.
Too bad we was born to work. Say, did you read about the guy that had his sex changed to a girl? Says he was perfectly normal, too.
How can a guy be normal and go and do a thing like that to himself?
All the same, it must take a lot of guts to pull a stunt like that.
That's a problem I don't ever intend to face.
Maybe it's a problem we should all face.
I don't get you.
Just think of the unhappy life. The miserable time this world of ours must have given that poor guy.
I still don't get you.
Now, here is a guy who wanted to be a girl. Supposing there had been no way to change his sex.
You sound as if you're really head up on this thing.
I guess I am.
Do you realize what would happen if every man in the country that wanted to wear women's clothes or felt like a woman went to their doctors and wanted a sex change?
Of course. That's why I say perhaps society should be a little bit more lenient with them. Maybe society should try to understand them as human beings.
Another day done. Thank goodness. See you tomorrow, Jack.
Yeah. So long, Joe. Until tomorrow.
Hi, Johnny.
Come on in and hit it right for the kitchen. I can't let that dinner burn. You know, I thought I was going to have to eat alone tonight.
Well, you probably will because I've already eaten.
What's up?
Nothing much.
Say, you really look down in the dumps.
I guess I got a problem.
Haven't we all?
I mean a real problem. One like I've never had to face before.
Our whole existence is one big problem after another.
I want to get married.
You have a problem. When did this all come about?
For nearly a year, I've been engaged to a very wonderful girl. Now the time is getting very close to the man with the book. I'm scared to death.
You love her?
Very much.
Does she love you?
Yes.
There's no problem. Marry the girl.
Are you forgetting about my other self?
You'll have to tell her, of course.
Yeah. I have to tell her. But when? Before? Or after?
I think you know the answer to that one yourself.
My mind's in a muddle. Like in a thick fog. I can't make sense to myself sometimes. I thought I could stop wearing these things. I tried, honestly, I tried. I haven't had a stitch of them on for nearly 2 weeks until tonight. Then I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to put them on or go out of my mind. I'm afraid I'll lose her. I don't want that to happen because I really love her.
Okay. Here's a story from fact.
Johnny tells his story. He had not too long ago been married himself. He had kept quiet about his transvestite desires in the hopes that the new wife would never discover it. However, one day, the little woman came home unexpectedly an hour early.
That marriage ended here. Will your problem be like mine? Most probably it will. Because the love hasn't been built up for such a thing. She, your wife, she will not have been taught enough about the problems to cope with it.
Glenda must now make her decision. Or forever forget the marriage to Barbara. Glenda should consult a competent psychiatrist, but then very few transvestites wish to change their strange desires. This is their life. To take it away from them might do as great a harm as taking away an arm or a leg, or life itself. Many even carry their transvestite desires to the grave with them. Yes, it is a problem. But Glenda, remember back almost a year ago when Glen and Barbara accepted each other?
Okay.
That's the 6th time you've said goodnight.
I guess it is. Look. Come on over here a minute.
What is it?
Never mind, just sit down.
Oh, I was beginning to think you'd never get around to it.
Did you mean you will?
What do you think?
When?
I must finish college first. It's only 7 months to go.
Well, now, that's hardly long enough for you to get a trousseau together.
How would you know about such things?
What's the matter?
Huh?
All of a sudden, you seem 1,000 miles off.
Yes, I guess I was, huh? That's a mighty pretty dress you're wearing tonight.
I wear my best to please you.
You know, when you look at me, you just tie me in knots.
I love to tie you in knots. Oh, I'll be so happy when these next few months are over.
Some special reason?
Of course. So you can stop kissing me goodbye at the door every night.
Yes?
So you can hold me close to you always.
Yes?
Then all you'll have to do is call and close your eyes to feel my lips on yours.
Beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy ducktails, and big fat snails. Beware. Take care. Beware.
That was racy.
Very exciting. Like all good men, Glenn finally got that Angora sweater he always wanted. Aaron.
Yes?
Do you have any dogs?
I do. I've got a little dog. He looks like a sausage.
Aaron.
Yeah?
If you could make any film in the world with unlimited resources, but you think might be impossible to make, what would it be?
I often have movie ideas that I just throw away because of their impossibility. And it's like, I like to talk about them, but I know they're actually never going to be made. One of them is I'd like to do something like, who's the guy, the Robin Hood, like a crossover with like Robin Hood and the Three Musketeers, where just get like a couple of public domain stories and like make that work. And I would like to do that. I'm never going to.
Like an Avengers film.
Like period
Yeah,
piece?
absolutely. Yeah, but like they're from two different periods, so I'd have to
Throw in a Count of Monte Cristo in there?
I'm not familiar with it.
Either way,
Something
put him
about
in
a
there.
Jailbreak. I like sandwiches.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
perfect. I like it. Lauren?
Oh, the Monte Cristo sandwiches.
Sure, either way. The sandwich, the man, the myth.
I think they cook them with eggs, though. Like eggs to me,
They
that's
batter
like a,
them and fry them.
What? Right.
Yeah.
That's a breakfast food right there.
I had one yesterday. Ooh. That's why I'm wearing this suit.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a black shirt.
So we can feel svelte. Well, Glen or Glenda is certainly a provocative film for the time and for now.
Absolutely. That's some baddie stuff.
Well, it sure seems like the film's wrapped up, but it has not.
It's not. There's more.
There's more.
Please keep tuning in. And stay tuned to this show because coming up a little later, still yet, we have Indie Insight with Dirk Norris. And we'll be right back.